Hello, folks, and welcome back. I am Jon Najarian, and this is indeed 3 at 3. By the way, let us know in the comments which hat you like better. We've got 3 different versions of it. Anyway, today's 3 at 3 is for the 18th of May, 2021. And today, our disclaimer is the same as always, that all the investments you make are your decision, and you need to understand the risks before you take them. We also have intellectual property. We appreciate it when you ask us before you redistribute our information in any fashion. All right, well, this one continues to work. Tilray, we talked about it 2 days ago, or was it last Thursday? Can't remember for sure, just a couple days ago. And stock was 14 bucks. They were buying 4,400 of the June 14 calls, and now the stock is 1557. Again, if you had purchased 1,000 shares, you put up $14,000, and you've made basically $1,557 on that purchase because stocks moved up by $1.57 times 1,000 shares. Meanwhile, the options have more than doubled. And in fact, we are rolling up at this time. Bang. If you'd like to subscribe to any of our broadcasts, we post almost all of them up for free on YouTube. So I'd encourage you to go to YouTube. I'll have to update my slide because now we're up over 18,000 subscribers. Market Rebellion is what you type into the search bar in YouTube, and then that'll take you to this page. You can click on that subscribe button, and next thing you know, you'll be seeing all of our videos for free. That is our replay of special guests like Leon Cooperman, as you see there, 3 at 3, The Take, Daily Crypto Bite, 60 seconds, all of that for free. Just make sure you subscribe, and we would encourage you indeed to tell a friend about it. All right, let's talk about Sabre Corp, SABR. Why? Because Pete was on the halftime report today talking about unusual activity in this one. You might recall that basically since November of last year, we've had unusual activity in this reopening play. They basically run search engines for a lot of the travel sites. There it is, Sabre, bullish call buying, 1357. They bought 5,800 of the 28th of May. That would be 10 days from today. 14 calls. So the end of May, 14 calls. Not the ones that expire this week on the 21st, but the ones that expire next Friday, the 28th. And they bought 5,800, multiply that times 100, means 580,000 share equivalent. That's why we like to follow people that are making big trades. If you'd like to learn more about how we follow big trades, and or if you'd like to subscribe, go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. That is marketrebellion.com/unusual option activity, or UOA. Thank you. American Airlines Group. Well, May 25 calls. These calls expire this week. Pete was talking about buying these May 25 calls. As you see, the volume has built because last week it was nil. The 13th, it was picking up a little, 5,000. 14th, it was over 7,000. And then today, Tuesday, the 18th, it is pushing to 14,000 of these calls. That's why we're jumping in, because they're buying so many of these at the money calls. The stock trading, I'd say in the middle to upper end of its days range, 2308 to 2394, with the stock at 2356 right now. Bang. Let's talk for a sec about the Daily Crypto Bite, because every business day at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we do a show called the Daily Crypto Bite. 3 of us, myself, CJ, and Monty, break down where we are investing that day, whether or not we're BFDing, buying the effing dip, or whether we're taking profits. And I'd encourage you to tune in on all the social networks, because this goes out streamed on virtually all of them. And or if you'd like to subscribe and get a 24-hour access 7 days a week to the chat room, go to marketrebellion.com/try crypto. That's marketrebellion.com/try crypto. Now let's talk about Rapt. Bullish call buying stocks 22.39. They're buying the 25 calls. You already know what I'm going to say, most of you. I'm not going to buy those 25s. I'm going to buy a lower strike and sell a higher strike against it. In other words, I'm following the direction and the time frame that this particular trader has put on, but I'm not necessarily buying a bunch of out-of-the-money calls. I think I move the odds into my favor further by doing it this way. So June 25th, June 25 is the strike price. Third Friday in June is the expiration, 5,000, which is 500,000 share equivalent, like following that. And here it is, Rapt, basically at 22.14 when we saw it, 22.39. So slipped just a couple cents. And I like buying this Therapeutics company on this break to the upside that we're seeing right now in the last week. Unpacking Pete's picks tomorrow at market close. Pete and Mike Yamamoto will be talking about unusual option activity and how he picks his stocks, along with our head of stocks and options, Mike Yamamoto, over at Market Rebellion. It is a free, as you see there, complimentary webinar with Mike and Pete, and it kicks off tomorrow at 4 p.m., right at the market close. It kicks off. So if you'd like to join, all you have to do is register. It's free. It is a complimentary webinar, but you do have to register to attend. Thank you. Questions? Please shoot them at us. Ask at Jon Najarian. That's at Jon Najarian, and I'll try to respond. Palantir. So AEH360, and the handle there is at AHOLDER 18. So that's at a holder 18. Jon Najarian. John, you still in Palantir options? I saw you dropped it on your CNBC page. I did. I have traded this one over the past several days, not holding it overnight. Why is that? Opportunities, short-term options are what I've been seeing, and so I haven't deemed to hold it overnight. Hopefully we see a big call buy step in, and I will hold it overnight. Let's talk about this. Dr. Total Babe, gotta love that handle. And her handle is indeed DRTOTALBABE. So Dr. Total Babe, she is betting on options limited to the maximum loss, so there never was a $530 million bet. Jon Najarian knows how to explain to their CNBC journalists, AKA, but they will never ask him. Well, sometimes they will. And Dr. Total Babe is talking about Michael Burry and this particular thing. Michael Burry, the investor from The Big Short, here played by Christian Bale in the movie The Big Short, is talking about making a $680 million bet against Tesla. And that makes headlines. On CNBC, I think they were more conservative. I think they said $530 million bet. In either case, Dr. Total Babe is correct. Dr. Michael Burry is not making a $530 million bet any more than I make a $200 million bet when I control $200 million worth of Tesla, which I have done from time to time. Now, the reason is simple, folks. If I own, let's say I own a 10 lot of Tesla calls, or in this case, puts. If I own a 10 lot of Tesla puts, I am betting that the stock goes down, or I am protecting an existing position, one or the other. Now, I might pay $7 for each of those puts. $7, since every put is for 100 shares of stock, would be $700 per put. A 10 lot would cost me thus $7,000. I think you guys are really good and could do that math. So I've put down $7,000. Let's say And let me get an actual up to the second reading of where Tesla, I know it was up a minute ago, TSLA, $579. Okay, so let me ask you, Dr. Total Babe and everybody else, because she is correct, folks. If I have 1,000 shares of Tesla that I'm betting on the short side, and I've paid $7,000 for that short, but I am controlling a $579 stock, 1,000 shares worth, that's $579,000, right? So do I have 500, is it a $570,000, $579,000 bet against Tesla? Or is it a $7,000 bet against Tesla? I would say, and Dr. Total Babe would say, that it is indeed a $7,000 bet against Tesla. And I am controlling, if you will, $579,000 worth of stock with that 10 lot of puts that I have. Put a multiple on that. Dr. Michael Burry has posted that he bought 8,001 of the puts on Tesla. So did he spend $680 million? No. I would say categorically, Michael Burry did not do that. He is not that much of a risk taker. He will step out against the crowd, which he's done here, and he did famously in The Big Short. But when you buy a put or a call and you're controlling a $579 stock for very little money, you are risking very little money in the potential that if the stock drops 10 or 20%, I know Dr. Michael Burry says, well, I think it could drop 90%. Okay, doesn't matter how far you think it could drop. You are not risking $530 million or $680 million. That's just factual. Let's take a look at, for instance, one of the strikes that maybe Dr. Michael Burry is in. Maybe, because he didn't declare. So I looked around at what strikes had over 8,000 open interest in the puts. And this one kind of jumped out at me, the 400 puts in July. So with the stock at, call it $570 to $600, Dr. Michael Burry established a trade or higher. I don't know when exactly he put on the trade. I think he did it as of the 31st of March. So we can go back and find out where the stock was at that time and then look for any strike at that time that had over 8,000 open interest. This particular strike had 13,600. So just as an example, again, not saying this is the one Michael has or Dr. Burry has, as you see today, that option has lost 18% of its value. Did he lose 18% of $680 million? No. If he had this trade, he has lost 18% of the option. So 13,600 options are open at this strike. If Michael Burry is 8,001 of those options, then he has lost today 8,001 times 100 times $6.35, which happens to be $5 million. $5 million. Not a good day for anybody to lose $5 million, but that's how much that trade is down today. Is he risking $580 million on that trade? No, because right now, 8,001 of those options times 100 times 6.35 is that $5 million. You guys can do the math. So he has lost very little, if any, in his trade. And Dr. Michael Burry is betting against Tesla, as he should, as he can, as any of us could. And he's got a $5 million bet. Now, again, 800,000 shares of Tesla, which is what most of the people are focused on, 8,001 times 100 times 579 would be $463 million worth of stock. He controls, if he chooses to. Again, a put gives you the right to sell, doesn't obligate you to sell. So Michael Burry could be controlling $500 million worth of stock, or even 580 or $680 million worth of stock as of the end of March. But he is doing so with the leverage that the option contract provides. That's the message I'd like to get across to all of you and to Dr. Total Babe. Thank you for asking, Dot. Let's do Hog. Solve It Sherlock Escape Room. And that handle is at Solve It Sherlock. Newbie here, still holding Hog. Yes, I am. Still holding Hog. Hog was one we did yesterday. I have one call for every call that I've sold. It's one of the reasons, Sherlock, that I do that one-to-one strategy. I own an option, I sell an option above it in the case of calls. If I were betting with Dr. Michael Burry and I owned a put, I would sell a put against it at a lower strike. I do that because I can hit both time decay and volatility compression and obviously market direction. I'm not as carved up on a down day in Hog as I would be if I just owned the calls outright. That's the way I play it. Thank you for your support and for watching the show today. I encourage you to please share this with a friend. Tell a friend that they should be watching this if they want to get an explanation on what really happened in Tesla rather than, the crap that they would otherwise feed you. And you can always check out marketrebellion.com/get started. And you could be explaining to your friends exactly how Dr. Michael Burry or anybody else managed their trade. Thank you for joining me today, folks. I hope you have a great day. I will see you here tomorrow. Bang.